Good morning and welcome to Hochfilzen, the last day of racing in beautiful sunny Austria. And well, we haven't had it all perfect weather since the teams arrived here on Monday. So the men's relay, the second of 5 relays, about to get underway, somewhat 10 minutes to go. Well, here's Hochfilzen, southwest, some 45 minutes southwest of Salzburg, and there's Kitzbühel, 25 minutes down the road. Beautiful Pilosi Valley, and if you love your cross-country skiing, this is a quiet village. Only 1,200 people in this village, but endless tracks, and you can see the views here. Alpine skiing for variety. It really is a wonderful place. I've trained here throughout the Christmas break a couple of times when I was an athlete. It's peaceful. It's at 1,000 meters and absolutely brilliant conditions most of the time. And there's the view down onto the stadium. So the men's 4x7.5 kilometers relay. And this is an important time in terms of teams and team selection. Some coaches playing around with running orders and adding an athlete in which they didn't have last weekend. So really very much testing who's on form, who can handle the pressure. And often the pressure is different when you're not just racing for yourself, but 3 other athletes depending upon you as well. So there's the stadium. Sadly, we're not seeing the normal, 20,000 fans, not just in the stadium, but around the track. Generally, they come out and support the race as well here, but unfortunately, as per the last couple of years, recent issues have kept the fans away, sadly, but doesn't change the racing. The athletes do say it changes the feeling on the range and the atmosphere. Of course it does, as they ski around the tracks, but that is life these days. Well, it was -3 earlier this morning when the athletes came out. There's Taliabo. Great performance yesterday again. He's at the top end, not quite the very, very top. 5th again yesterday. Christensen, well, didn't have it all his way yesterday. He started, well, 16th and dropped down to 19th place, missing 2 targets. With Jacqueline, he appears to do no wrong. Didn't quite beat his teammate. Here he is yesterday, Fillon Maillet. Jacqueline second, Fillon Maillet taking that victory yesterday. And Loganov, we've seen better skiing from Loganov. His shooting mostly okay, has the odd bad moment. And there's Latypov taking the anchor again for the Russian team today. Johannes Kern, well, what a fantastic outing he's had. His best week of racing, first in the sprint competition. Unfortunately, leading into this final stand yesterday, and he went and missed 3 on that final stand. Siebenader, best shot in the world last year. His stats are still very good this year, but dropping off form. On the other hand, Leitner hit all of the targets yesterday, one of only 3 athletes to do so, moving up to 7th place. Leigrid back in out as the starter today for Norway. So the little cold that he had up in Sweden last week, it's better. He's racing well. And there's the great Johannes Tingesbø. Hasn't had it all his own way this year. 29th in the sprint competition, which is very unusual. And 18th, moving up to 18th yesterday. He did miss 3 targets, though, Johannes Tingesbø. There's Dessieux. He's taking 2nd leg. Good performance yesterday. Only missing 1 target yesterday, Dessieux. So the calm before the storm, 6 minutes to start. The athletes will need to start making their way now up to the start grids and ready for their dynamic start very, very soon. So there's the scene set for the men's 4x7.5 kilometer pursuit. Total climb today of 257 meters. And here's the big climb, continual climb. little undulations before the fairly easy descent down to stadium and shooting range. 3 times around this 2.5 kilometre. The ladies yesterday cut off at the top of the steep climb. The men are going slightly further up into the hill. Well, it's got that Christmas feeling, hasn't it? Bit of snow, bit of sunshine, and hovering around 0 at the moment. Significantly and unusually, no wind today in Hochfilzen, so I think that many of the athletes, with the 3 spare rounds you carry in a relay, I think we'll see some risk takers today, some rapid fire shooting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but at least there are 3 spare extra chances today with the 3 spare bullets. So 27 teams, 27 countries, here we are, a little chance to look at it. There's the running order you can see on the right. That's the selection of athletes. They're all here, all present and correct. United States, Doherty starts out, Schomer second, Jake Brown third, and Norgren anchoring the United States team. And Canada, they normally push each other, 18th position on the grid for Canada. Moldova, disqualified last weekend. Hopefully they get their drills and routines right this time. So the start grid, it's going to be 3 athletes abreast, and then narrows into the ski track after about 100 meters. As the tracks meander down the valley to the low point, and then basically it's a climb all the way up, back up, through the stadium, under the road, under the tunnels, up to the high point, drop back down and get on with their shooting. Prone position after the first 2.5. Ski another 2.5, then the stand position, and then ski again the 2.5 kilometers to hand over or the 4th athlete to the finish. They're starting in the penalty loop, a circular, unusually a circular penalty loop this time. It's 150 meters, and there's the Norwegian team. They won last weekend up in Östersund, and well, it wasn't an easy run all the way through. They won by 11 seconds, and Russia were 3rd. Here's the French team. Strong team. They really have been performing well. The results show that, and a 1st and 2nd yesterday proved that. Thank you. So Thomsen in, replacing Khalili last weekend, who started. Thomsen is in good form, and now Eric Lesser. He's been such a good start athlete for the German team for so many years. Handed over, well, less than a second off 1st place last weekend. He'll want the same today. Artem Prima, Pegrushny, Simbal for the Ukraine, and Dudchenko taking the anchor leg there. First athlete, very nervous moment for Labastu from Minsk, 24-year-old. He was only 89th in Östersund last week, but he's starting today. Pep Femling entrusted for the start man today. He did 1 penalty last weekend at home, and that really put the Swedish team down, and a big chase back to make 7th place. Komats, Eder, Leitner and Jakob for the Austrians. Didn't go well last weekend, that's why they're wearing bib 17. That's where they finished in Sweden. So nervous moments in Hochfilzen. 27 teams lined up, ready for the starter's gun. So Borut Nunar there, the race director, calling ready. And in the old days, we used to see some some nervous twitches on the line. I have to say that the front grid there looked very, very relaxed today. Fabien Claude, I thought, just looks composed and relaxed. The race you often can say starts after the first shoot. You want to exit the range having ideally hit 5 out of 5, but let's say today I think only about 12 from the 27 teams will hit 10 out of 10 first time in. And if you use a spare round, you absorb some, well, between 5 and 9 seconds, depending on how quick you are at feeding the spare rounds into the chamber. Good opportunity to see the course there. This is quite a fast descent, doesn't look it there, but it propels you down around this right-hander and carries you a little way into this next rise. Reasonably steep rise here, then a left-hander, switch back around. Used to go slightly further up this hill in the old days. And most of the track there's a little shade here, but most of the track today is firm and in the sunshine. So Lygrid out front, 20th position in the sprint competition. He missed 2 targets, unusually missing 2 in stand shooting. Made his way back up to 9th place in the pursuit yesterday, only missing 1, so his shooting came back to what we so often expect from Sturla Holm or Lygrid. The pace is okay. Thomsen in 2nd place, wearing bib number 3. The 24-year-old from Ekaterinburg. Well, very famous ex-biathlete and cross-country skier. Sergei Chepikov, that was his home city. And we have a couple of the Russian team from Ekaterinburg now, so the club system is good. The experience there with Chepikov is excellent. 27 teams, single file really, so from first athlete to last athlete, I think we'll see about 11, maybe up to 12, 14 seconds separating first to last place. It is important not to try to get in this first quarter of the field, so you're not detached by a big margin. Well, the margins are a lot less than I thought they might be. Zahna there for Estonia. The women yesterday, the Estonian women had a very good early part to the relay. And you can see the times there, so down to 27th position. It's 11 seconds separating first to 27th nation in Hochfilzen. Well, the tracks were icy earlier. The sun now is beginning to warm this, what was an icy patch earlier. And I think as the race progresses, I think we'll see some slushy, damp snow evolving over the next hour. There's nothing you can do if you're back in, say, 6th or 7th place. You simply cannot get past, so you have to be patient. And it's quite tense, actually, skiing in this pack, because you've got an athlete right behind you. You've got an athlete over to your right-hand side if you're in the left column. And you just have to try and be efficient and stress-free if you can. Very easy, easy to look in onto it, but when you're in this pack, your moment and anxiety and desire to keep pushing hard is your main focus in life. And you're fighting for your space as well in there. So Lygrid making a statement. He's taking the point position. And on the downhill sections, the drafting, we often mention how important the drafting is. You get a better glide tucked in behind an athlete in front. Thomsen allowing Lygrid to have a 10-meter gap, but he'll haul them in, I'm quite sure. And then a nippy left-hander here. You have to be quite agile on your skis to dance around that corner. And you can hear that it is still icy in the shade there on that bend. One of the few sections of track which are still in the shade. So nearly 5 minutes of racing, and this final little climb before the descent. Here it is, back down to the stadium. Well, Fabien Claude looked relaxed on the start line. He was relaxed on the track, but he's taken the initiative to get ahead of Lygrid. There he is. And just buy himself a little more time to set up his his prone position, his alignment, the sighting, magazine in, and off he'll go. So all the coaches earlier, they zeroed the athletes, but very, very easy conditions. In all honesty, the flag's just hanging straight down. You can see the smoke from the factory there. Not much influence higher up. Now Pep Femling, he missed one this time in. Last week, he needs to get the targets down this time. So prone position, 27 teams alongside each other now on the range. Lygrid, you would not expect that, missing his first shot. But Thomsen, confidence, his shooting has been great. Russia out first. Switzerland going well. What has happened to Lygrid? 2 spare rounds required. Same with the French team. Germany out, just 1 spare used. Lygrid, this is so unusual. The second best shot in the world last year, taking his time to get the targets down. So, interesting first time in. Russia leave with a 5-second advantage over Switzerland. And excellent to see Slovenia in 3rd place, 5.7 behind. Well, this will feel strange for the rest of his teammates watching on. If you were to predict anyone getting 5 out of 5, I think Lygrid would have been high up on your list of expectations. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 athletes, perfect 5 out of 5. So back out on the track and down the low point of the valley. I beg your pardon, it's Vaklevits from Czech Republic. I beg your pardon, I thought Thomsen, maybe my graphics are wrong. No, my graphics are right. Thomsen did lead out. Vaklevits is in 4th position, 8.5 seconds behind. And there is Vaklevits with a train of athletes tucked in behind. Good news for Sweden, Pep Femling, bib number 7. He was on the penalty loop this time last week. Thankfully, he's out and running again on the tracks. Lovely angle this, and then we move off it. I was just going to highlight some aspects of the freestyle skating technique. Well, I'm wondering, Thomsen in, Khalili out as the starter today, and so far, no problem at all. The 24-year-old has coped very well. If he has a weakness, though, in terms of shooting, Thomsen, it's his standing. When he misses, generally, it's in his stand shoot. In the sprint, he shot 0 prone, then missed 2 standing. But a much better day yesterday, hitting 20 out of 20. I must say, he looks very balanced and easy around that tight right-hander. Often you see some athletes quite stiff and locked on as you come round this very sharp right-hander, actually. We have seen athletes go off on the far right of the picture there, actually get the timing a little wrong, and occasionally in the past we've seen athletes disappear into the deep snow, only losing some 5 or 6 seconds. So Thomsen looking easy, composed. And any big surprises? Well, I think the biggest surprise on the range was Lygrid going out 19 seconds behind, having used 2 spare rounds. But I'm happy to say on the track, he's moved up. He's brought Norway back from 16th up into 11th place. And he's only 9 seconds, so a lot of work, a lot of effort there for Lygrid to damage limit early on. You can see him. We'll get this front shot. You can see Lygrid in the second group and trying to close down on the lead times. So second time up this hill and second lap of 12 for the 4 athletes to complete. Thomsen surprised nobody's tried to really close that gap down. It was 5 seconds at the range. It's still 5 seconds further down the track. 1.6 kilometers further down the track. I'm a little surprised. Any athletes just looking back to the shooting? Nobody on the penalty loop after the first shoot, and that's certainly an indicator of how calm the conditions are. The wind plays a big part. It moves you and your rifle, but it also moves the bullet as it travels through air, which has been basically moving air. When the wind blows it, it moves the bullet as it travels through the air. Well, Thomsen has his comfort of 5 seconds, and then the rest of the field, we've got some 12 athletes. In fact, now it's all almost back together as a train for 14 athletes. There they are, one behind the other, making the way down now for the slightly more difficult statistically stand shooting. Well, just as they work their way down, after yesterday's results have been put in, Samuelson is very much secure in the yellow bib, and Jacqueline has moved into second place. So Samuelson has 250 points and Jacqueline has 243. Christensen 225. So the season really is beginning to take shape, and Samuelson very much on form at the moment. So still a little icy there under the tunnels. There's Mark Kirchner, former multi-world champion, Olympic medalist, scoping for the German team, head coach for the German team. So Russia, Germany, Czech Republic, Norway. Well done, Leigrid, getting so far back into this. And Canada, top 5 on the range. Well, Thomsen, he led all the way around that track. I'm not sure it was in his favour. Leigrid showing now, making up for those 2 spare rounds he picked up in prone shooting. Russia in a little bother here. Just feel the fear and the tightness from Thomsen. The prone was excellent. He's got 1 chance left. And that's still on the penalty loop. What a pity. The Russian team looked good after prone shooting. It certainly doesn't look good anymore, sadly, for the Russian team. Leigrid out first. It's chasing half a second behind. It's Femling, then Dovzan from Slovenia, and Eric Lesser, the top 4, are 2 seconds behind. Well, so much going on the range. What about France? One of the favourites today, 13th position. Claude picking out further 2 spare rounds. Just feel for Thomsen here. He's tight, he's panicked, having led all the way around there. And he's lost composure, he's lost the feeling through the rifle. All high, left and right. And a very, very bad moment for Thomsen.
He's trying to find the shape on the track.
Well, lovely slow motion shots there of Eric Lesser, and Eric's in 4th position at the moment. There's Leigrid. That was quite incredible. Some 20 seconds behind going into the 2nd lap. He pulled all of that time back and still managed a rapid 5 out of 5. He must be a little tired, though. I would imagine the effort that he put in on his middle lap, the 2nd lap, I think he'll feel it this time round. And Eric Lesser, with apparent ease, going around Leigrid and taking the initiative here. Great to see Doherty providing for America. Left the range only 4.9 behind, lost a little bit of time on the track. But great news, he hasn't used any spare rounds. Labastu, Belarus in 7th, Artem Prima, Ukraine in 8th, and Stolder for Switzerland in 9th place. Well, after just looking further back as we see the pictures here at 6.1 kilometers, Ligrid is suffering the push, the force he pushed on middle lap. It's now feeling it in his legs. Russia and Tomshin as they left the range, or as he left the range, 40 seconds behind in 16th place. Just update you when we see him coming through. There he is now. He'll be through reasonably soon through the 6.1. Good to see China, not bad at all. Fangming Cheng missing or using 3 spares. He's got China there up into 14th place, so midfield, a decent start for the Chinese team. Eric Lesser at the first races, the first weekend, 2 weekends ago, his form wasn't great. He had put in some big training. The fatigue was in his legs, but sparking away today. There's Ligrid, 5.7, so he needs to hang on in there. Probably won't lose much more than 5.7, maybe drop down to 9 seconds behind at most. And Dovzhan for Slovenia, great news. I'd love to see the Slovenians back up and threatening the podium. Ranked 15th, Jakov Fak going next, and Jakov, he certainly loves the relays that he takes part in. Clement Bauer, 3rd leg, looked so much better in the sprint. 35th possession. I really would love Clement Bauer to feel the magic again through the rifle. He was 4th in the Olympic sprint race way back in 2010. So he has the capability. So Clement Bauer, 4th, and Tristan taking up the anchor for Slovenia. Eric Lesser charging away, this new confidence after Johannes Kuhn winning in the sprint race. It seems to have lifted the whole team, given some confidence and self-belief back. Well, I thought Ligrid may stay at just 5 or 6 seconds behind. Looks a little more, but this is a very fast section of the track. Well, the pace from Eric Lesser really has damaged the chasers. You can see when the arms drop down, your legs are completely spent at the high point and you're just hanging in by a thread as you work your way back down the ski through the range. There's Eric Lesser at the front for Germany. And Pep Femling, making up for his errors at home on his home range last weekend, has put in a fantastic run for Sweden. This is great news for the Swedish team. Ponsiloma next, Stephenson brought in this time around, and Samuelsson, the yellow bib, the World Cup leader, as anchorman. That's got to be a good feeling. So Germany first. Eric Lesser back at his best, and that's using 2 spare rounds. And Norway have dropped down 10.9 behind on the handover. Well, Tadej Bø will be as fast as he can, trying to close down Johannes Kuhn. I'm not sure he will. Big shake of the head there from bib number 19. René Zachna, he normally provides very well on the first leg. Obviously something has annoyed him or upset him on the way around. But I think 8th position for Zachna. That's a good, very good start for the Estonian team. His father used to race. I used to race with his father. And certainly Zachna has learnt the skills well. Was very good as a junior and has carried that through as a senior. So the later teams, Austria will be so disappointed, 104 behind at the moment at their national training center. So work to do for Austria. Russia, Tomshin left the range 16th. He's fought back to 13th, but still some 44 seconds behind. Well, we saw it there, a little clash of the skis there on the handover with Zachner and Christo Simmer. Fabulous technique there from Ponsiloma, leading the way here, putting as much pressure on the chasers as he can. Tariabo will fight it quite hard, I think, to try and pull this deficit back, and maybe won't entirely chase it. Well, that's quite interesting. I thought Johannes Kuhn would set the pace here, but Ponsiloma absolutely on fire. Efficiency, balance. It's quite interesting. At the World Championships in February, he spoke to his father, who was in the Swedish cross-country team at the Olympic Games. When was it? 1992 in Albertville, and his father came 7th there, so a top-class cross-country skier. And the phone call at the World Championships prior to the sprint race, just saying, listen, don't worry about anything else, just focus in on yourself. You know you can hit one target, therefore you can hit 10 as one target 10 times. Relax, just do what you can. And Ponsiloma, massive surprise for many, taking the world title in the sprint competition. I'm sure he'll be focused in on trying to do the same at the Olympic Games. Needs that same mindset again to reproduce that incredible result. So the coach is playing the part, running alongside. Can't run more than 50 meters alongside the athletes. Those are the rules. And there's the lonely position for second leg, the 22-year-old from Russia, Daniel Sarkovstov. A lot of pressure for him. He only came 63rd in the sprint competition, shooting 1 penalty in the prone and 3 in standing. So yes, he skis well, but the shooting wasn't there 2 days ago. Welcome back to the chase here in Hochfilzen. The last day of racing, only the women's pursuit competition coming up later at 2:30 local time, 1:30 if you're watching in the UK. So Russia 51, so losing some 7 seconds on the track and looking as if he's absolutely attacking Sarkovstov. And here's Simon Eder. His last season, I've heard his last season at the races. Certainly has provided a few good races this season. But at home, the Austrians would want more than, at the moment, 15th place. So I would expect them to be moving up the rankings as this race progresses. And largely through to Simon Eder on this leg, hopefully 10 out of 10, and may move his team from 15th up to top 10 by the end of the leg. Mazet, Kirchner for Germany, nervously awaiting the arrival of their athletes. Ponsiloma has really pushed this lap of 2.5 kilometers at his limit. Calming down now, will work his way far right of the range into lane 1. Pulls down to his right-hand side. Magazine quickly in, hooking up to the support strap, which takes a lot of the weight of the rifle and locks your hand in at the front, your left hand, as relaxed as he can be into the rifle. So 9, 10, 12 teams entering the range area now. And 7 lined up side by side. Ponsiloma just taking his time. Fantastic. Skied as fast as he could, calmed down on the range, and it absolutely paid off. Alongside him, Kuhn, fabulous in prone position. If he has a weakness, it's his stand. Now then, France. Well, this is something of a surprise. The French team and Dessieux, he shot 0-0-0-1 yesterday and using 2 spare rounds, so losing some 12 seconds on the range for France. Belarus struggling right now. Lazuski. Don't know what he said, but it wasn't good. You heard it there, but he's on the penalty loop, and that's as bad as it gets when you're in the top 5 in a relay. So, Simon Eder, watch this. 1 breath in between, rapid fire. Predictably 5 out of 5. He's off. He was 15th. Might have made his way up to 12th through that fast shooting, confident performance. And this was a very different, easy, relaxed, if the cameraman can get the right routine. There we are. That was the last shot. Low left, but comfortably in the golf ball size target. Composure, ease through the rifle. This is Johannes Kuhn. Couple of little breaths. I like the way he takes one and then another half breath, building the, which raises the rifle up as he takes that second breath, and very easy 5 out of 5. So the same as last time around. Ponsiloma has a lead, some 4 or 5 seconds. Doesn't quite look as sparky this time. Now Johannes Kuhn seems to be picking up the pace, and there's Slovenia and Jakov Fak in 3rd place. Great to see that. Jakov went out 2nd place for Slovenia. So only 1 spare round used for the Slovenian team and the Swedish team. Estonia the same. Only 3 teams on 1 spare round. And Estonia in 7th position. Just like the women yesterday, there's a sense of growing confidence in this Estonian team, men and women. Now the big names. Let's have a look. France, Dessieux is back at the races, back in the race at 24 behind. But this is the sharp end of the race. Ponsiloma, Kuhn, Fak and Tariebeu. Italy, Chacomel, just 10.5 behind. Switzerland in there as well. There's Dessieux, losing some time actually from when he left the range at 24. He's now 32 behind. That's quite a big loss on this, to be honest, easy part of the track. So Serokvostov has improved. The shooting was good. You would just love for him to make contact. It's a lonely race with America just in behind the Russians there. And all the time Martin Ponsiloma hurting on the track, trying to make the rest who are chasing hurt more. I suppose that's the strategy. If I'm hurting, they're going to be hurting that little bit more. But right now it's working. So a definite shape to the race now, with a lead of 10 seconds and then 4 athletes together. And then we've got another 4 or 5 athletes detached by a decent margin now, actually. Some 30-odd seconds it was. Yeah, 32.99 back to Dessieux. Switzerland there with Benny Weger. Pegrushny's in there. Siemer for Estonia. Shirokvostov just really in no man's land at the moment. Oh. Well, you need good reactions as a biathlete, good reactions through the trigger, and that does translate all around to fast reactions. Paul Schomer just taking a stumble on the ice under the bridges. Now we saw fabulous shooting from Simon Eder. He did move up after shooting, but not by much. And now back down. You're about down in 15th place again for Simon Eder. 1:15 behind. So the athletes will change the mindset from attack on the track to the calmness of a precision marksman. And they're complete opposites. The calm that you need for shooting is completely opposite to the aggression and the attack that you need at a high-end physical push. Often discomfort when you're skiing around, you're at that kind of level. And regardless of how you feel, you have to come in, switch off from the physical activity and step back to the marksman principles of calmness. Impossible to be calm. And we'll see some of their pulses over 180 beats per minute as they come in. So, calming down as quickly as he can. Great news for Sweden, leading by some 10 seconds into the stand shoot. Alongside Germany, Slovenia, Norway, Italy, France and Switzerland. One spare required. Getting his breath back, Ponsiluoma, taking his time to get that bullet in. Slovenia struggling. Johannes Koene, he missed 3 out of 5 on his last stand yesterday. Now he has 3 spare rounds to hit 2 targets. Calming down is a good way to help that process. Well, Norway and Tarjei Bo thankfully has cleared. Slovenia, Jakob Fak has cleared. Dessau had no problems at all. Last chance for Koene, the winner of the sprint race on day 1 here in Hochfilzen. Well, a sigh of relief, I'm sure, from Mark Kirchner, the coach, and the rest of the team watching. Estonia, well, that's a pity. 2 spares required. And Russia back in the races from a relatively poor start. Simonator having to use 1 spare round. He'd be backed off his speed shooting. And nice to see the trigger operation. Surprised he missed there. The trigger operation, the onto trigger and squeeze. Not good. Shake of the head from Simonator. I can't believe what I've just seen there. The best shot in the world last year. Highest stats ever in terms of hit rate, and at home in his home range, he's missed 1 target from 8 shots fired. So Austria will be, the 2 athletes still remaining to go will be shaking their heads in disbelief. Felix Leitner hit all the targets yesterday, and Patrick Jakob taking the anchor. So Martin Ponsiluoma, look at this. He can't see, the sights are blocking his view. Took a couple of attempts to get that spare round in. Big thick gloves don't help. And often bringing the rifle back so you can see in the chamber helps. So relief there for Johannes Koene, his last chance cafe. He got the final bullet, the final target, so back out on the track. And damage limitation, really. He came out in 7th place, 30 seconds behind. So the last, well, it's under 2 kilometers now for Ponsiluoma of racing in Hochfilzen in Austria. Then the move over to France tomorrow. Vital to get that information. Just hearing the coach saying how far Italy were behind, 6 seconds, well, 5.8. And this is a fabulous outing for Italy. And strangely, Lukas Hofer not in the quartet today. Tarjei Bo, I remember when Tarjei first did a relay for Norway. That was back in 2010, or the first major, in Vancouver at the Olympic Games. He set the fastest leg on leg 2. He's leg 2 all these years later, 11 years later, and he still provides every single time. Tarjei Bo holding Norway only 12.8 behind, 3rd place. You can feel Ponsiluoma now. He's trying to maintain this ingrained, in-depth technique from when he started skiing at 3 years old. Balanced, but he's being chased down by Giacomel. Or is he? No, it was 5.8. It's now 8 seconds, but a fabulous start for Italy. Tariebo's just managed to close down 0.4 of a second from the last split time, so really running the same as Martin Ponchiloma. 24.9 now for France, and it was 22.9, so Dessieux is beginning to hurt. And Johannes Kuhn, that's okay, he left the range at 30 behind. Okay, he's lost 1 second, but that's on Ponchiloma. Here comes Russia. Sirok Vostov has done well to be 44 seconds behind at the handover. He's actually gained, and that's pretty good, gaining on Martin Ponchiloma. Ponchiloma finishing second in the sprint competition. His ski speed was one of the fastest. So Ponchiloma now about to hand over to the least experienced member of the Swedish team. Nellin out, and Malte Stefansson has been brought in. So I think nervous moments for Stefansson. The coaches clearly have belief in the 21-year-old from Oxberg up in Sweden. Only 53rd Stefansson in the sprint race. That's missing 1 target, so let's be honest, his ski speed over 10 kilometers is some minute, 50 seconds to a minute behind. And he moved up to 40th yesterday in the pursuit competition, shooting 01.02. So a better performance, but a big moment in the career of Malte Stefansson, about to start in 10 seconds time. First outing for the seniors in the relay for Sweden. So how's he going to manage? We'll have to wait and see, but certainly he skis well, and his history is very good as a junior. So Italy second, Norway third, brother to brother. Johannes Tingesbo now underway. Tariebo handed over to him, second leg to third leg. Jakob Fak still holding Slovenia there in fourth position. Clement Bauer now away. Germany away, 29 behind. Kuhn bringing a little time deficit back down. France in fifth position. But have a look, the big names all within 30 seconds. So much can still change. And I do believe that with Latypov there, sorry, Loginov. Latypov's the anchor. Loginov on good form could bring Russia back into this one. Ukraine away. That's it, Bogdan Cymbal away for Ukraine. America waiting patiently. Paul Schomer should be in fairly soon. Lazuski, the Belarus team, on the penalty loop earlier, so they're down a little today from where they were last week. So it's all happening in Hochfilzen. There's America, and as always, the Americans and Canadians are close together throughout most of the relays. A little bit of North American rivalry there for sure. So Stefansson leading for Sweden. So leg 3 athletes, lap 7 of 12 if you like, and the noticeable aspect so far, Stefansson is holding his own pace, trying to remain relaxed and composed, but he's got Johannes Tingesbo desperately trying to close down on the exchange time of 12.4. I think it's going to drop to at least, 6 seconds? There it is, 6 seconds it is. Well, I understand a little bit of that. I think he was saying, don't worry. about Johannes Tingesbo. He's going to catch you, but just, I suppose, focus in on yourself, Stephenson. Just keep as composed as he can. So Roman Rees for Germany this time round, and there we saw Loginov just coming through at 37. So Loginov has pulled some time back. It was 41 seconds, but that's on Stephenson's time. And I would imagine Johannes Tingesbo will catch up with Stephenson before the shooting at least. Bogdan Simbal there. Well, there's Johannes Tingesbo looking better today for me. And Bionats, the Italian, trying to ski within himself, but also trying to limit the damage ahead, realizing full well that Emilien Jacquelin, there he is on the chase. So welcome back. Here's Loginov bringing the deficit time down. It was 41. It's now 35, but that was on Stephenson. Johannes Tingesbo has already pulled back 12.4 seconds to move ahead of Sweden. Stephenson still running his own race. I mentioned at the start of the leg that Stephenson expected over 10 kilometers to lose about a minute on the fastest skiers. Sometimes you can survive over 7.5, and I suppose you look at it and view the fact that when you come in to shoot, you get a recovery, if you like, of some 28 to 32 seconds from slowing down slightly into the range to the recovery during shooting and then back out onto the track. So Norway, Sweden and Italy further back. We've now got France and Slovenia. Jacquelin, for me, has really been, well, quite contained, holding himself in a comfort place. He's so fast and strong, you could expect him to have closed down a chunk of time. And there's Ziggy Mazet, the Frenchman, scoping and working for the Italians. Zingerli, Andrea Zingerli scoping for the Italians, and Jonas Jonsson for the Swedish team. So good skiing from Johannes Tingesbo into lane one, as so often has been the case throughout his whole career in pursuits and relays and mass starts. Five out of five. The perfect shoot, an advantage already over Sweden and Italy. They're using spare rounds. It's France that I think he more has to worry about. Jacquelin. Well, Stephenson, this is all new to be representing your country at a World Cup. So Jacquelin having problems. Stephenson, 2 shots left, 1 target remaining. Excellent, job done. So Jacquelin, he's struggling here. He's losing so much time. As expected, at last the target's gone down, but that will tighten him up now on the chase around the next 2.5 kilometers. Switzerland still well and truly in the races. Loginov has done a great job pulling the Russians up into 5th, well, 39.5 more significantly. They're not far off the podium now, just 7-8 seconds off a podium. So the pressure building for all the teams chasing, pushing hard on the track. Canada, that's a shame for Canada. Spare rounds required in numbers for Canada. So a chance now to view the expert. Dead center. Slightly left. All that matters is that they go down. 45 millimeters, that's all they've got there to hit, 45 millimeters wide. High left for Stephenson. That was the fourth and the fifth shot. Leaning over, you can move. Sometimes when you lean over that much, your right elbow slips out a little. Can throw the shots high. So shooting 5 completed, and good news for the Norwegian team. Surprisingly, early on, Sturla Holm Lygrid needing 2 spare rounds and was detached by over 20 seconds, but very much at the front of the race now. This will do Johannes Tingesbø no harm at all as a confidence builder. Johannes finishing 18th yesterday in the pursuit competition, shooting 0.021, so his standing a little wobbly yesterday. Fabulous lead being built now for the Norwegians. Was 15 seconds on departing the range, and now it's 24.7. Clement Bauer and Slovenia, great to see Slovenia in third place. Stephenson still okay. Thereabouts in fourth position with Loganov chasing, Roman Rees for Germany chasing, and Jacquelin having dropped France down with his spare rounds on the range. So this looks so much better for Johannes Tingesbø. The strength that he has shown over the last, 8 years of World Cup racing, he's deceptive. Every compression on each of the skis he covers, used to cover more distance than anybody else, and certainly today he's looking back to something of his best. Well, here's second and third place, Italy and Slovenia, but further back, significantly, we've got a bit of an attack on. There's Clement Bauer. Ski speed is still good. Dropped a little from where he used to be at his best, but he can find that back, I'm sure, for February and the Olympic Games. Loganov still 43 behind. Germany 44, France, Jacquelin 45, and Stephenson 45 behind for Sweden. I think that's a good indicator that Johannes Tingesbø is absolutely putting his foot down today and skiing back on his best form. They're not closing the deficit time whatsoever. And hopefully for Johannes, he'll just come in as he always used to do, build the position fast. And I might suggest that he's going to, when comfortable in his stand position, just release the shots a little faster. He's got 3 spare chances and basically just find the routine and let them go. Still icy up on this section, around the bend, but Clement Bauer so nimble and easy on his skis. Stephenson struggling now to stay with this chase pack. When you're detached, it shows that you're beginning to suffer. So at the exchange onto this leg, Stephenson was 10 seconds ahead and finding himself quite a bit detached now, over 40 seconds detached. Johannes Tingesbø for his second shoot, his final shoot, before the final 2.5 and handing over to Christensen. You can hear how exhausted he is. Oh, so happy to see that. I think he's back. He was exhausted coming in, and I love the way that he put in 8, 9, 10 little half breaths and didn't risk anything until he was stable. 10 out of 10 for Johannes Tingesbø. So, Italy, Slovenia, Russia, France, Germany, and Sweden alongside each other. Clement Bowery missed the third and then missed the fourth and the fifth. 3 spare chances to get those shots down. That's pressure. Italy suffering. Germany suffering. 1 to go for France and 1 remaining for Russia. Well, France away. Jacquelin putting it together much better. Bionat's beginning to feel the pressure as well. Clement Bauer, what a pity. Slovenia on the penalty loop. Russia clear, 2 spares used. Germany clear. Bionat's 1 shot, 1 target. The rifle's wobbling around. That wobble didn't stop. Italy, having done so well to this point, into the range in 2nd place. Well, they'll exit the range, what, maybe 8th or 9th position. So this is how to do it. Delight to see Johannes back. What a lead for the Norwegian team. Johannes Tingesbø really back to his best skiing and opening up and putting pressure on the chasing teams. I think that's the significant aspect to make them miss targets. Clement Bowery hit the first 2. He missed the next 3. Then he had this 3 spare rounds to go. Huge pressure when you miss that first of 3 spares. Slightly nervous twitch through the rifle. So Johannes Tingesbø has plenty space around him to hand over to Vetless Gjerstad Christiansen. It was 49 seconds. I would imagine that Jacquelin will try and close this down, close the deficit of 49. So we might see some pullback of time, but Johannes Tingesbø at the front of this race is still, I think he said over a minute behind, but I think that's unlikely. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, there's Jacquelin there. I can't believe Jacquelin could lose up to 11 seconds. So Jacquelin doesn't quite look as powerful, as strong, as dynamic as he has been up in Sweden, and certainly days 1 and 2 here in Hochfilzen. But 3 consecutive days can really bear down on you as an athlete. 3 tough races. Yeah, it's going to be about 49 seconds. Actually, it was 50 seconds. So Johannes just taking another second out of the French team. I think Stephenson has done a magnificent job. He struggled on the range and standing, but he did get them all and came out in 3rd position. Okay, he's in 5th position now, but it's about damage limitation when you've got Samuelsson on the anchor leg. So he's desperately going to try now and hold on to Loginov and Roman Rees, or at least contain them by as little as possible. Down now under the bridge, still icy. We've seen some athletes slipping or weight transfer. The ski slips out a little. But everybody in this trio safe and relaxed. And they're trying to carry as much comfort into this climb, to let the glide carry you up into this particular hill. So Jacquelin is trying so hard to bring the time back. That's a 1.5 seconds from the previous time check to this one, so he is succeeding in that mission. I think Stephenson has done well in replacing Jesper Nellen, who is a much faster skier. I think there might be a health issue there with Jesper Nellen. Well, look at this. Roman Rees really taking the initiative. Has passed now Loginov. Loginov has been okay for the first couple of laps in the 10-kilometer sprint. Really faded on his third lap and appears to be fading on his third lap here again today. Loginov desperately needs to hold on and give Lachipov an opportunity to keep Russia on the podium, or at least in sight of it. So the great Johannes Tingesbø about to hand over exchange 3. Lap 9 of 12 total laps, and Christensen taking this responsibility as the anchor. It's always a big, huge responsibility. So Norway handing over first position. Johannes Tingesbø did everything right today, and I really hope that gives confidence in what is to come. Le Grand Bonand coming up next week. Tomorrow the athletes will be driving over there. Some of the team support staff will leave this afternoon and tonight. It's a long drive, 7-8 hours over to the south of France. Jacquelin will be happy to be home. He'll be happy that this leg is now over. And he's moved them up into second place. The French team first and second yesterday. Fillon Maillet winning the race, and he's about to be given the responsibility now, and Jacquelin second place yesterday, so they are absolutely a team on form. 50.9, Jacquelin is suffering. He's the ultimate fighting machine on the track, but he was certainly a little tired there. Loginov just coming through, maybe to hand over, yes, in third place. Not much in it. So Russia alongside Germany for the third slot on the podium, but Samuelsson in waiting will certainly have something to say about that third spot. So Samuelsson about to set off for Sweden in fourth place. Stephenson just finishing his race. I think he can be very happy with that performance as a 21-year-old, and the least experienced without a doubt in the Swedish team. So Christensen just dancing efficiently his way up towards the stadium area before dropping down now to the left. Quite a fast descent with a sharp right-hander at the bottom. But comfort zone of 50 seconds. I would imagine that Fillon Maillet will very much try to close the 50 seconds to around 44 coming into the range. Maybe better. He might pull 10 seconds out of Christensen. We'll have to wait and see, but I would imagine he'll be trying as hard as he can to pull it back. Belgium about to be passed, and if they're passed, they have to pull out. Maybe, just maybe, on tired legs, they can hold on for a little longer. Fillon Maillet, with his maturity, he seems to pace his races well now. So yes, he'll be trying to put Christensen under threat mentally. If you're given split times that you're being the athlete behind is closing, it can put you under pressure. But Fillon Maillet, no, he's just he's running very much the same time as Christensen. I really thought he might attack early to try and apply pressure, but he's clearly running his own race. So Norath, the man from Ruhpolding, anchor leg for Germany. Now 17. Oh, exactly what you don't want to do, Felix Leitner. Has the pole survived? It has. Sorry, Patrick Jacob, I beg your pardon, looks a little like Felix. Of course, Felix was on leg 3. Well, Samuelsson was 124 as he was handed over to behind. He's pulled that back by 1 second. And Samuelsson has had some brutally tough races. He is leading the overall World Cup total score. And for me, he looked a little tired there. Just that first image that you get of an athlete, the spring and the dynamic moves. There he is coming down top left of our screen. He looks like he's getting back into some rhythm. And of course, Russia, Eduard Latchipov for Russia, and Philip Norath know how fast this man can ski. So they know they have to be on top of their game today to hold Samuelsson away. 122, that's okay. He's pulled back 2 seconds now. Theo Maillet is running level with Christensen, and Germany have... Actually, Norath has pulled back 3 seconds, and Latchipov has pulled back 1 second on this man, the lead time. So Christensen, you take your glasses generally. You saw him lift his glasses up there before going under the tunnel. Allegedly, the eyes need a good 30 seconds to adjust to the new brightness, and it really is bright today in the sunshine of Hochfilzen. Ziggy Mazet, keen to see what happens here. Last week in Östersund, on the anchor leg, Christensen used 1 spare in prone. He used 2 spares in standing. So 5 shots in the magazine, 3 shots as reserve. Oh, well, the 4th shot touched that exact same spot. You can see the splat there at, well, at 9 o'clock. 1 spare round. Mission accomplished, safely out. Mazet just noting down what happened there. Maybe they'll discuss that later, just on a no zero wind conditions day. Anyway, Theo Maillet. I would imagine it will be fast. Norath alongside Latchipov on lane 4. Well, it wasn't overly fast at all. It was contained and very composed there for Theo Maillet. So Theo Maillet will have pulled some time back, having not used a spare round. Was 50 seconds, it's now 33 behind Christensen.
He didn't feel it, so he had every right to
Christensen
continue.
may well feel that pressure.
You know you've straddled it, you should pull
So Germany
up. I don't
out,
think he'll be
Russia
getting fined,
out, and
because he
Samuelsson
just sneaked the wrong
missing his
side of
first
the
shot.
turning gate.
That's something of a surprise.
Well, as you can
really
see
needs
from
to get these next ones,
we're
and then one spare round
away.
ideally.
From the start of this race,
If he wants a podium.
inspected the course. Finally, they're not allowed to ski the track, just a side slip inspection from top to bottom.
Half an hour to slowly go down the course, see where the line is, have
he
the
certainly had
discussions
skied
with the
fast
coaching
first
staff,
time
your
round.
other athletes, get a feel for the
And he
slows.
needs to give the same again, but still very much detached from 3rd place. You saw the 4th shot there, clip the edge at 9 o'clock, and the miss was clearly at 9. Well, interestingly, just looking at the times, we saw Theo Maillet at 50 seconds on the upward section of the hill, but he really did pull some 6-7 seconds back on the descent, the easy part down towards the range. So Theo Maillet pulled back 6 seconds there, and then a further 10 seconds on the range in terms of shooting to move France up to 33 seconds behind. So Christensen will be aware, without a doubt, that Theo Maillet has improved in terms of the deficit that was 50 seconds. And this is further back down the track for 3rd place, and it's Eduard Latchipov. I think Latchipov is a safe athlete in terms of shooting, and generally as the coaches want a safe trigger finger, if you like, on the anchor leg, but you have to be able to ski as well. And Christensen fits that bill on both fronts. So the Norwegian coach, didn't see which one it was, but giving advice. The advice that he thinks will help him out, keep him in the picture as to what's happening behind. And interestingly, again, Theo Maillet not chasing down on the track. Generally, he skis faster than Christensen, but at the moment, he's lost a further 2 seconds from the range to this point. Now, that might give Edward Latypov and Philip Norath some positivity if Theo Maillet isn't at his fastest on the track. So almost stride for third place. Now, what's Samuelsson managed? 120 behind, he left the range at 118 behind. He's lost half a second. And he's generally, you would expect Samuelsson to ski some 30 seconds faster over 10K, so some 20 seconds faster over 7.5 than Christensen, but running exactly same pace at the moment. Maybe Samuelsson's just thinking, well, I'm viewing a podium. They finished 7th last week, and Samuelsson did a wonderful job to pull them back from, I think it was 13th, 14th, all the way up to 7th on the anchor leg. There he is. So Latypov 51, Norath 52 behind. They left the range at 49 and 50. You just feel that Samuelsson is tired today. He doesn't quite have the tempo, the dynamic moves that he's given us the previous 2 days here of racing. And there's Christensen, the fast dip. That's an awkward little dip. You have a lot of pace going over it, and then it drops away. More like an Alpine, Alpine World Cup skiing drop-off. So the last time into the range of the day for the Norwegian team. Glasses up, exactly same place as previously. He'll realize that Theo Maillet and France are only 33, maybe less now behind. But all that he'll be thinking about is composure, breathing, stability, and timing. And keeping Norway in first place. Christensen for the final shoot, 5 shots standing. Wow, really getting his breathing back under control. Interesting, Al wobbled. He wasn't comfortable for the last shot. He's just missed by 2.5 millimeters, 3 millimeters at most. Comfortable, that would have put the prone target down. Now he's got to ski and ski fast. Theo Maillet will be wanting now very much a rapid fire. He's doing exactly, achieving that and achieving all the hits. This is incredible. Well, it's going to be 10 seconds, maybe 11 seconds, and I think that Theo Maillet will have a go at this. Anything under 15 seconds, well, it's 14.3. So Germany and Russia now punch for punch, hit for hit, until Norath missed his 4th. The pressure of the last shot. Latypov, Norath, that was rapid bullet in the chamber. Wow, Latypov, when you hold your breath and try and think I can get it, sometimes you run out of air and you're tense. but it worked for Lachipov. Now, opportunity. Samuelson needs this one to chase down a potential third place. He dropped something there, didn't see what it was. Generally, you're not allowed to leave anything on the range. So, this is going to be one almighty fight on the tracks. Christensen leading by 14.3 as they left the range. And Fiumaye absolutely back in the race for a challenge for the top position. So expensive, that tiny, minute little error for Christensen. So the closing stages of the second relay of this wonderful race season, and France trying desperately, Fiumaye trying to close down on Christensen from Norway. In all honesty, Fiumaye, he won yesterday. He certainly doesn't have the fight, the ski dynamic movements that we've seen over the last 3 weeks of racing. This is a very, very tired man today. It was 14.3. It's not over yet. His skis are running well, that's for sure, on the descent back down into the stadium. Certainly safe and secure in second place for Fiumaye. And well done to the German team. Confidence is coming back into this, what used to be the mighty German team. Hasn't been that way for many, many years now, but confidence coming back for the Germans. So let's have a look at this time. I really thought that Fiumaye would attack and attack. He's tried. The brain is saying go. The body's just saying no today. Well, it's not improved at all. Christensen is going well, and good psychology, I think, from Christensen, really attacking from the range to not give Fiumaye any hope at all to close those 14 seconds down. Christensen has extended that to 17.8. Now, Philip Norath needs to be careful here. Lachipov, for me, is putting in a big charge behind him, and he is. It is closing. So, Eduard Lachipov, they were third last weekend, the Russian team. Well, all the advice in the world. When you've got an athlete that's faster chasing you, there's not a lot you can do about it. So Lachipov, for me at the moment, has the advantage. He's on his absolute maximum. He's just desperate to try and make contact before the big climb, and I think he'll do just that. Well, Philip Norath, he's not going to give in easily, that's for sure. Finished 47th yesterday, but that was partly through to some poor shooting. Well, Lachipov has really brought that in quickly. What will he do now, Lachipov? Will he tuck in behind and recover briefly? But look at the facial expressions there on Norath. He's in agony at his limit. He needs to command this lead space, though, I think, for a chance, but all the while Lachipov getting some recovery to pounce, I think, to try and charge past Norath. Here, there he goes, and there is the charge. Norath, unfortunately, has nothing to give. The brain is trying to scream and shout, come on, push harder, but he can't. Oh, that's a decisive moment there for Russia to move up into third place. Well, that was a turn of pace. So confidence 2 weeks in a row for the Russians. And look, at the moment, it's not over yet, but at the moment, safely into third place. Christensen, he's proving to be a good anchor man, even though the pressure is huge when you're given the responsibility. He takes it well, though. One spare round standing, which made the race look a little in question. But no doubt about it at all, the Norwegians are the best for the second week running in relay racing. Norway first for the second week in a row. What a quartet that is. Last week, Bakken started out, Lygrid started today. It wasn't fabulous. Then Tarjei Bø, then Johannes Tingesbø, and Christensen safely on the anchor. Well, the French tried. Not the best of starts for them. They were down in, what, 14th position, 40 seconds detached, and a big fight back for second place. Fabien Claude, Simon Dessieux, Emilien Jacquelin, and Quentin Filon-Maillet. So Russia, that was a wonderful performance from Edward Latypov. And the Russian team again in third place. Somebody come and say well done. So the rest of the Russian team congratulating Latypov. Unfortunately, Germany down in fourth place. You saw the expression there from Philip. He had nothing more to give. Well, maybe when it comes round to February and the Olympics, well, maybe they can charge and challenge for the podium at the Olympics. Samuelsson, definitely seeing a tired performance today from Samuelsson. He was 103 behind. As he left the range, he's 130 behind, so he did try chasing, but it wasn't going to happen today. So last week at home, Sweden were 7th in the relay. Today, just behind Germany in 5th position. So Belarus, well, finishing as they did last week, wearing bib 6. Anton Shmoshki has put in a good leg, but the penalty loop early on in the race really has held them back today. Quite huge margins in terms of time. 2:09 back to Team 6, 2 minutes 9 seconds behind. And Italy, it looked so good in second place, coming in on the last leg, but dropping back substantially. Well, some of the action today. Sweden started so well, but leading by 10 seconds for a lot of the race. There's the icy sections under the tunnels. And there we are. Later today, we've got the women's pursuit. Local time, 2:20 Central European time. That's the pursuit from the sprint race 2 days ago.
Canada was 18th in Östersund. Next team at finish, United States of America, from 12 to 13. Sonia is the next team at finish. Next one at finish. Bulgaria, the team of Bulgaria, in 15th place. 70 Sekunden hinter Patrick Jakob bei letzten Schießen Bulgarien. Hier kommt der Überwacher, der Sankulika Bier für Österreich. Das Rennen liegt auf Position Nummer 16. Also Handgedacht haben wir uns verbessert. Dahinter Finnland, the team of Finland, in 17th position.
А ну, Лина, возьми! Попробуй!
ja alles nüüd saab hakata võib-olla käima saama, et alguses oli väga raske, et mitte kasvõi võistlusi peale saada. No eks ta ole kehvem kui 11 või 12, mis oleks võinud olla. Kõik ära tõmba.
Die gehen beim letzten sein können, wenn sie alle noch zu beginnen. China. 20. In second and third position, the team of China.
Arvestan sellega. Kui ma saan kedagi, siis ma võtan veel, aga kui ma saan...
Latvia in 24th position. team of France, Paris Claude Simone Emilia Chapman, and third once again in Tirol, Biathlon, Vassili Domshin, Daniel Sarapotto, Alexander Loganov, Edward Loganov.
Congratulations, it's another fantastic performance by the team and by you. How satisfied I've with another win.
Yeah, thank you very much. Today we knew it was going to be a tight race, so for sure we are extremely happy with the win today, and I think the team all over did a very good job, both skiing and shooting wise. It was 5 extra bullets. I think it's pretty decent, even if our record is still 1 extra bullet here in Hochfilzen. So it's always tricky to have this gap on the last leg. We saw Hanna Öberg yesterday. In biathlon, everything is possible, so I think it's a little bit more stressful to have this gap than coming in man to man, shoulder to shoulder, because you get a little bit fucked up in your head. It's tough to stand there with a big gap, so I try to take my time, and yeah, I'm happy. Of course, 2 last shots. I know what Sig is going to tell me, but all in all, a good race for us.
Definitely, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Täitsa tore ja võtame vastu, arvestades just ka viimaste hooaegade konteksti. Aga meid ootab täna üks etendus siin veel, kus lavale astub Tuuli Tomingas, see on naiste helitussõit, see Tomingas alustab päris kaugelt, aga tõust on võimalikult palju, nii et hakkame sellele kõik kaasa elama. Nii et tehke endale väike supp lõunaks ja siis väike jalutustiir ka ja õige pea kohtume juba EFC. Olge tubrid ja näeme hoopis.
Они сейчас там набирают, ничего, я...
Warte, schau, dass wir frei auf tun kann.
BMW IBU World Cup Awards Men Relay. Auf Platz Nummer 3 in third place. Vasily Domshin, Daniel Shevchenko, Alexander Loganov, Eduard Lapidov, Ruslan, Russia. Reads from the IBU, the sport and event director Felix Sterling and the LOC boss Franz Berger. In second place, auf Platz Nummer 2, Fabien Claude, Simon Destieux, Emilie Chapleux, Quentin Maillet, Frankreich, France. It's time for the champions. First and winner, Hochfilzen team competition. Yes! Sur le 100 right. Tarje Bø, Johannes Dinjesbø, Vetle Seierstad Christiansen, Team Norway, Norwegen. And once again, a big cheer from us to the winners of the team of Norway, to the second best team of the world, the Team France, and the third best team, Russia. And because it was the last race on the men's side, boys, we are looking forward to have you back in town exactly in 1 year. Stay healthy, all the best. Have a good season, have great Olympics, and amazing, stay healthy. That's for now. We will be here soon then with the ladies competition.
It will be gone, sorry.